I did not grow up in the United Methodist Church. Growing up, I actually attended many different denominations: Free Will Baptist, Church of God, Christian Baptist, Reformed, Southern Baptist, the Churches of Christ and Christian Union, and even visited a few Pentecostal churches from time to time. But while I was in college, I connected with the United Methodist campus ministry at Wright State. And while there, I was invited to attend the West Ohio Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church. And I discovered something that I had not experienced before. You see, I love worship. And while I was there at the conference, I discovered worship services that were rich and diverse. I remember there was one service that was very traditional with organ and choir. There was another service with a wonderful band, contemporary, modern. There was a service that featured great global music and a gospel service. And it wasn't only the diversity, but each service was well done, intentional, and had spiritual depth. The diversity and the quality of the worship services certainly caught my attention. But it wasn't just that. There was a deep commitment to missional engagement and a pursuit of justice. I remember hearing about Africa University and several of the other missional partnerships that our conference had with churches around the globe. I remember hearing of the need to be in justice ministries for those who were experiencing oppression. And this pursuit of justice and this commitment to mission was different than I had ever experienced in any of my other churches before. There was also conversations that happened that caught my attention, conversations around recommendations. And I was in awe of the way that each person had a voice and the ability to express their opinions. I loved how there was dialogue and prayer around each of the votes. These people who had differing opinions were all able to participate in the same church. And as I considered the diversity in worship, the diversity in thought, the missional engagement, I began to think that this is perhaps what the kingdom of God might be like. It's not just a bunch of people who agree on everything, not a bunch of people who all worship in the same way. I had experienced God through many denominations before, but this denomination seemed to give me a picture of unity in spite of diversity, and that was attractive to me. And so while at annual conference that year, I purchased a copy of the Book of Discipline. And as I read about the church's history, the doctrinal standards, the Wesleyan distinctives, the theological task, the general rules, I began to think that this perhaps is the church where I belong. This church where people worship in many different ways. This church that is engaged in mission and the pursuit of justice. This church where everyone doesn't agree on everything. You see, the diversity of the church drew me to it. For I need people who are different than me to help me to become the person that God has created me to be. I need people who are more conservative than me and more progressive than me. I need people who remind me of the importance of sharing my faith with others and seeking justice for all. For I believe that together, our diversity actually makes us stronger. And that's why I chose to be United Methodist. And that's why I continue to choose to be UMC.